Good afternoon, YouTube. Nice dance moves by Jack's still going there. Oh, hit that. Yeah, okay. Oh, all right. Tyler, you as well. Saw a little dance in there. Luckett is in KS office, a place that we were just talking. I think it's been neglected a little bit, but it's good to see Luckett there working from over on top of KS Bar and Grill. And I'm Drew Franklin here leading another KSR happy hour on YouTube presented by Country Boy Brewing. Tyler, are you partaking today? I'm going to assume Luckett's not. He's locked in at the office. What do you got?
I am. I've got the halfway home. It's the last one in my fridge. So I've got to make a run to the liquor barn and Bowling Green this weekend when I go to the lake. So get some.
Well, coincidentally, I also was out of Country Boy. So on the way home from the show today, I stopped at Clark's Pump and Shop and I picked up something I'm very excited about. They've been telling me about this for almost 2 years, but I've stayed away. But being in a gas station or a pump and shop, I thought it is finally time for me to get the 7% Blue Raz. I don't even know what it is. They basically told me it's for college kids to go have a good time. I'm going to try it on the happy hour. The Blue Raz Hard Apple Cider.
We're about to get crazy.
Yeah, this might change my Thursday, to be honest. This is a little different.
That's 7%.
Yeah.
Is this the country boy version of a Four Loko?
Four Loko, yeah,
Actually,
baby.
you know, I'm not going to say that they made that comparison when they were telling me about it, but they didn't. They might have. But this is supposed to be party in a can, and I'm going to do it today on the happy hour. Might not get all the way through it, or I might do it in the first 10 minutes and see what happens. But either way, shout out to Country Boy and the Blue Raz Hard Apple Cider, gluten-free, 7%. Let's have a Thursday. One more Country Boy shout out.
I enjoy they put gluten-free on there because that's really what you're thinking about when you get that. That's good though. It's healthy-ish.
Yeah. I won't go over the nutrition facts, but I'm excited for the wild ride this will take me on leading up to the UK baseball game coming up. One more quick Country Boy shout out before I got on here. I was watching on their social media. They had a couple of their kids do a tour of the brewery. Did anybody watch that? It's actually brilliant. DH's son and then one of the other guy's daughter give a tour, and they're like talking about how they ferment, but it's one of those cute kid videos. So I got caught up in that. Go to Country Boy on social to check it out. It's worth your time. We already have a super chat. What is going on? UK Rob 88. Roush needs to stop stealing my takes. I called us beating Bama in March on 11 personnel. Not cool, Roush. Well, it is cool for the $5. Thank you, UK Rob 88. You obviously get priority there for throwing us a little bit of money. We'll throw that in the pot, and we appreciate it. But now let's move on to our topics because we have a lot of them. And it's good to have Jack and Luckett here because they are experts on a lot of our subjects. Beginning with Jack, a lot of NBA combine talk this week, a lot of final stages of Mark Pope and his roster building. Pope was in Chicago yesterday to check on Malachi Moreno, and I assume to watch a little bit of Owe and Quaintance. But Moreno specifically probably had to have a few conversations there as circumstances haven't changed, but there is a little bit of a buzz around Moreno staying in the draft. You actually just put a post up on KSR Plus. I was reading it right before we started. Shout out KSR Plus. Flash sale right now. Sign up for $1, then 50% off for the whole year. Go do it, and then you can read Jack's post. But right now, for the happy hour, Jack, why don't you go ahead and tell us what's the latest with Moreno?
Yeah, I think he went into this process very beginning when he announced his return to Kentucky, wasn't seriously considering any reality that would lead to him keeping his name in the draft as a first-round pick. I think it was hey, can we go get the feedback, go gather as much intel as I can from all these teams, as many interviews as I can, for them to tell me what I need to do to prepare for my sophomore season so I can position myself for potentially the lottery in after year two. And as this process has gone on, as the workouts have started and interviews have ramped up, there is, I think, a more interest than anybody on the Moreno side expected, and it kind of became well, shoot, if we're already this far along and there is real interest, then we got to be 2 feet in this and take this seriously and see where things go. So I do think that we have a long list of teams: the Boston Celtics, Los Angeles Lakers, Miami Heat, New York Knicks are just the 4 that have been publicly announced. And I know that there have been several more in terms of interviews and team workout scheduled. So there's a lot of interest there. I think from 20 to 35. That's a really comfortable range for him, and I think one thing that fans should keep in mind, once you get to the 31st spot, it's teams can negotiate however they want with, it's not a set rookie scale like it is in the first round. So that is something that also comes in mind with NIL, and you can kind of get back and forth with negotiating, okay, what does a guaranteed contract with an NBA team look like compared to an NIL salary back at Kentucky? So I do think the interest is very real. I don't think we're at a panic level right now for Kentucky fans. I do think that there is still a very real chance that he does come back to Kentucky. Like, he hasn't made a final decision, hasn't gotten a guarantee from a team that says, hey, we are taking you at fill in the blank, and we're just waiting until the withdrawal date to screw Kentucky over. That is not happening. So he's serious about it. He wants to take this seriously. Mark Pope talked to him yesterday when he arrived in Chicago and said, hey, if you can get a guaranteed, don't just go, but if you can get a guarantee from a team that you believe in, that has the right vision for you, that won't just send you to give you a two-way deal and send you to Fort Wayne, like a real tangible path for you, then seriously pursue it. But if not, come back and be a lottery pick for me after your sophomore season.
Tyler, I will say, with the list of teams he's met, I mean, that's in a pretty attractive and fun group for places to go live and places to work for. What was it? I mean, we know he started with the Knicks before the Combine, then Celtics, Lakers, Heat. I mean, I throw the Blazers in there, but you talk about just destinations and place to go. I can't speak for Malachi, but if it were me, just the opportunity to play at one of those places would be tugging on me a little bit too, if they're seriously interested.
Yeah, and I think you're seeing what happens with a lot of kids when they go to the Combine for the first time. It's like that dream they've always had of being a pro gets a little bit more real. And I'm sure for Malachi, like meeting with the Celtics staff, meeting with the Knicks, working out for the Knicks, who are in the Eastern Conference Finals, like that's really cool, right? I think you said it on the radio, to be able to like put on a practice jersey with the Knicks on it. It's pretty neat. I think he's got a pro day scheduled for next week. It's like the childhood dream is like right there. And yes, if you come back to college for another year, it could be even more lucrative for you and it'll still be there. But when it's right there in front of you, I think it's just kind of eye-opening. And but I think that Malachi, I was listening to his interviews he did yesterday, and while he did talk about how the NBA has been his dream and all of that, he did make a point to praise what Mark Pope has done with next year's roster at Kentucky, and notably said that he knows Zoom Diallo and that they grew, in high school they played together at the Adidas Euro camp. So he at least likes one piece of Kentucky's roster, and that's arguably the most important one, the point guard. So he did kind of go out of his way to say, yes, this is all really cool. I want to do what's best for me, but Kentucky's got a pretty good roster should I choose to go back there. So that was nice to hear.
Lucky, what do you think? Let's say we'll do a little bit of scenarios here. Let's just say he does go, and we'll get into what UK's backup options are. But how big of a hit is that to Kentucky? A lot of people are, some more of the negative fans are saying, why would a team look at Malachi? He can't do this, or he played bad in this game, this, and that. But Mark Pope has said it himself. He's kind of built the roster around him. I mean, at this stage in the game on May 14th, and it would even happen later in the process if he were to leave, how bad off does that leave Kentucky if it were to happen?
It's definitely, I would say, a body blow in an off season of body blows. So how many body blows can you absorb and still come back and still punch, but have a punch that can do some damage? So it'd be a test. I mean, where do you go? Like, who's left? How do you find another? Because you're going to need another center. Like, you're just going to need another center. And so do you feel comfortable with Big Frank? Not sure how to pronounce the last name yet. Do you feel comfortable?
Kepnong.
Right,
Nong.
having him 25 to 28 minutes per game. And with Big Frank, he's got all these injury history, right? Like, I don't know if I think he's played more than 20 games once in his collegiate career, and he's been in college a long time now. Like, it's not a short sample size here with Big Frank. So you just worry about it, because then it's just another body blow in a off season full of body blows, and where you've had to like essentially do a Q&A just to calm the fan base down. So it would be another hit in an off season that just feels like it's been full of hits. So where I think you get Malachi back and maybe you add an addition or two, then I think you could see the path, and then I think you could see a good build up to the season. Where I think you don't get them, that's hard to see how people get it. I think it's going to be hard to see how people get excited in the preseason. Now, when the game starts, a different story, but it's going to be hard, I think, to get people excited if you don't have Moreno.
Our friend Captain Crash in the comments says the Malachi family expects him back. That's good. Jack, how much of this, and you already alluded to it a little bit, but how much of this is when these guys get to the workout, somebody's got to have a little bit of NBA buzz? Like, how much of it is just kind of a little bit of on the NBA end, he's just kind of a hot name with these interviews, and then also back around Kentucky, us just panicking because we panic at any little mention. Like, how much should we be worrying right now if you want Malachi back?
It's a little bit of all of that, and I think a big part of it is the bigs ahead of him on the list in all of the mock drafts and team needs ahead of, you know, Malachi's projected draft spot. They all tested very, very well. And a lot of the guys in his draft range right now, they're all pulling out and taking massive bags back at their colleges. So somebody's got to take somebody at, you know, 21 through 30. Like, the draft has to happen and picks have to come in. So they view Malachi and say, well, he is 19 years old. Well, he is 7 foot. You know, he does pass unbelievably well, has a, you know, he's a personable kid, super high character, you know, high basketball IQ. Go down the list of all the pluses. Yes, he needs to get stronger, has to play more physically. Like, those things are very real things. But NBA teams, my understanding with these interviews and the feedback he's actually gotten is like, hey, we can work on that with you know, strength and conditioning staff. So we have the best in the business with our respective franchises to be able to, you know, work on your biggest weaknesses. And you also have a lot of stuff that we can't teach. So I think that's where the interest is. But he's also an unbelievably loyal guy. Like, Kentucky does mean something to him. You know, being around mom, being around this family, like, that is a very real thing to keep in mind. Part of the reason why he didn't enter the portal and go to the highest bidder. Like, I think that's something that we should also remember. He could have ended this process a month ago and said, I'm going to go make $5 million for fill in the blank blue blood, because they all wanted him. So he decided to take a team friendly discount to return to Kentucky for the loyal reasons. I think that is something that's going to linger and something to keep fans, to keep them not be so restless until the finish line, that loyalty is a very real thing for Malachi.
We're already getting some good comments. Kyle Strange wants to know why Luckett's not at Roosters. I'm going to assume Luckett's heading over to Kentucky Proud Park. That's why he's at KS Bar. Am I correct there?
That would be correct. Big weekend. So we'll see if at Kentucky they can start it out hot, but huge weekend. Should be a fun night over at the park. How
did that live remote last night go? I saw the pictures and a little bit of your broadcast here on our YouTube. The 11 personnel looks like some fun.
We had a good time out in Brandenburg. The people of Meade County came out. I think everyone had a good time. Everyone enjoyed the show. So it was a good time out at TD's Pizza and Wings in Brandenburg.
Did you keep Nick under control? We know sometimes he can start feeling himself. Try
to. There was actually a couple in there that showed up at 4:00 waiting only at the game just to see Nick Rouse. So he had people in there for hours waiting.
Wow. Did he make him mad or something? I mean,
yeah, they owe him money.
I think they just didn't know exactly what time we were going on. So they wanted they just showed up a little early. So they were camped out for a while.
A few more things on Malachi, but first, I'm going in for my first sip.
Ooh, that is very blue.
That's an interesting color there.
That looks green to me.
Yeah. Smells good.
What's it smell like?
Is that from Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles?
Oh, that's delicious. Yeah, Secret of the Ooze right here. One of my favorite movies. It's pretty good.
Gluten.
One sip, everybody knows the rules, right?
Do the whole thing.
Oh gosh.
Oh god, you're gonna throw up everywhere.
Is it like drinking smashed Skittles?
All right, 2 hours till Kentucky baseball.
I hadn't been trashed in 12 minutes when it finally hits his bloodstream.
When that belch comes, you can't hit mute.
I had no intentions of
when the belch comes.
No intentions of doing that. I looked at all of y'all, then Jack said it, and I was like, you know what? Big time players make big time plays. I'm going for it. Yeah. I got to go on a walk later. I got to cook salmon. I'm going to regret that, but it was good. Shout out to the Country Boy Blue Raz hard apple cider. No, okay. Back to Malachi.
Be trashed.
Love it.
Wait till I get a second one. I also brought a coffee. We'll fight it with coffee. A new name popped up from Russia. I won't even pretend to know anything about him, but is it Gleb Fursov?
Sounds awesome.
Is that what I'm going with?
Sounds like the one.
If there's one thing I know about Jack Pilgrim, it's that when he's at home, he's just watching Russian basketball all night. So what do you know about Gleb and Kentucky's interest?
Good player, played in a solid league, produced, and I think you're seeing, the Michael Ruzic and a lot of the guys that Kentucky is looking to fill with this contingency play. Like that, I don't believe that any of these new names that are popping up are in addition to Malachi Moreno. I think the only one we'll talk about in just a minute, like they still are looking for star talent elsewhere, preferably Milan Momcilovich at Iowa State. But these new names that are popping up internationally at the big spot, I think are just contingency plans for Kentucky should Malachi Moreno keep his name in the draft. But it's exactly the path that you're looking for. High level of basketball, I think. It's one of the worst things that a school can do is, go find a dude who's averaging 28 points and 36 rebounds a game playing for an absolute garbage level of Euroball and expect him to translate to the SEC. You have to hit at the highest level. And this Russian player is that you said his name so perfectly fits the mold. As good of a backup option as you'll find not many options out there right now, admittedly, that you would feel super confident about, but that definitely fits the bill.
Another comment, Cole, another regular here on the Happy Hour, says he's had the cider, the 7%. He says, if I have a second one, I will be taking my glove to the baseball game tonight and robbing a home run. Who knows? It sounds fun. I would love to do that. Maybe I'll run to the fridge right now.
Join him.
What soccer jersey will he be wearing?
I can find one around here. I think I have a Lexington SC jersey right back here somewhere. I probably should have waited till after that to try to talk about Milan Momcilovich because now I'll start getting tongue-tied. But that's another name we're watching the combine. Moreno, obviously, we're trying to recruit him back. But Momcilovich, we're trying to get him for the first time. He's most likely not staying in the draft and will easily be the hottest name available when he leaves. What is he? He's top 10 in the portal regardless, I believe.
Top 5.
We all know about him. We saw him kick Kentucky's butt in the tournament. Just an electric three-point shooter. We've been over this many, many times. It's kind of outside of Moreno. It's kind of Big Blue Nation's dream right now. Jack, where do things stand with that? And why does Jeff Goodman want to pick on us so much?
Jeff, buddy, I love you, and we've been through some highs and lows together as a fan base. Don't just rage bait. You know what you're doing. You specifically left Kentucky out because you knew that it would be a talking point on this show and for everybody on Twitter to talk about. Yes, Kentucky absolutely will be in the mix for Milan Momcilovich, armed with an absolute bag if he decides to pull his name out of the draft. It's a fact. Kentucky has made it abundantly clear, had a Zoom meeting with him last week that said, hey, go try for your dreams, bud. But if you would like a bag, we have one waiting for you in Lexington. So don't overthink this. Yes, Louisville is a threat. St. John's is a threat. I have also heard on my end UCLA. If Alan Graves decides to keep his name in the draft, he's been highly rumored to LSU. We know LSU's been throwing some real money around. Do we see, Will Wade decide to throw his own, chunk of change at Milan Momcilovich? That's something that I would keep an eye on as well. But that grouping, he's going to go to the highest bidder. You don't put yourself in a position like Milan Momcilovich and not go try to cash out as much as possible. He said he wants to play for a contender in his interview yesterday, but he's definitely going to cash out if he decides to return to school. And Kentucky will be absolutely positioned to be among the best contenders.
And if Pope wants 33s, Tyler, I mean, he would be a big help in taking 33s. Right now, I don't know who's shooting 30, but if you can get Milan, come take as many as you want.
Yeah, I mean, during Pope's Q&A when he said that he still wanted 33s a game, this roster as is not going to get 15 threes a game, it feels like, unless Cam and Alex Wilkins go off. But yeah, Momcilovich, we've talked about how great a fit he would be in this system. And listening to his comments yesterday, I also got the feeling he just doesn't want to go back to college. Now, whether or not Kentucky's offer is too good to resist when you compare it to what he would be projected to get in the second round. I mean, what is an early second round deal? What is that worth now? A couple million, if that.
You can negotiate to whatever you want it to be, but traditionally it's, you sign a 2-year, $4 million guaranteed deal or something like that.
Yeah, going into this week, it seemed like he just wanted a first round guarantee. Yesterday, he kind of opened the the door a little bit and said maybe a second round if it was guaranteed, but he didn't want a deal that wouldn't be guaranteed. So it sounds like he just doesn't want to go back to school. He didn't want to do a third year of, college and whatever. That's fine. But at some point, the money is really hard to turn down. And it sounds like he will have a bevy of offers. And no, I'm not too worried about Jeff Goodman not including Kentucky with the suitors, because it's been pretty clear all along that Kentucky is right there. Even though there is a doomsday scenario if it's Louisville. If it's Louisville and if Malachi Moreno does not come back, I go on vacation starting on the 22nd. I get back after the draft deadline. I may just stay away.
Tyler will come back. She'll just be gone from Halloween till April Fool's Day.
Right.
There's not enough of these at Clark's Pumping Shop if that situation happens. I'll be swimming in them.
We also just need to, in terms of desperation, I would look more, UCLA has been eyes big for Tunde Yesufu forever. Like, that's been their kind of baby of all this. If Tunde keeps his name in the draft, they also have a Tunde-sized bag ready to throw to somebody with that role ready made available. Louisville doesn't need Milan Momcilovich. They have filled that spot. Like, Carter Knox was the role for that. Are you going to now tell, old Kevin Knox's dad, like, we've been around him for a decade now, are you going to go tell him, like, hey, we're going to recruit over your son? It doesn't fly for the Knoxes. He went there specifically for role purposes. They had Alvaro Folgueras, and like that team doesn't need a Milan Momcilovich. They would just be doing it to stack talent. And if you're looking on Milan's shoes, he's only coming back for role purposes and wanting to position himself better for the draft for next season. So, yes, they're throwing a bag and they're a threat, but you have to look in Milan's shoes. Where would I go that would position myself better for next season? And Kentucky fits perfectly. St. John's to a lesser extent, but just connecting dots, man, it just makes way too much sense.
I think desperation is the key word, because that's where Kentucky is.
Yeah.
They're desperate. So, in theory, should Kentucky be sitting here having to pay an absolute bounty for a guy who sounds like might just be, the mercenary, doesn't want to really leave the draft? He's kind of forced there. You would rather not be in this situation, but they are. So they got to figure out, you got to pull out all the stops and just hope it bounces your way. It's unfortunate that they're in this spot, but that's just that spot they're in, and it's a desperation mode, because, like we're talking about on the show, the doomsday scenario is not crazy at all at this point. Like, no. It's very realistic. Like, it's very much on the table. So you're kind of absolutely playing with fire here, and like, you're honestly just one bad bounce, right? You're one bad bounce away from really being in a really, really tough spot, in kind of a absolutely critical, huge, whatever phrasing you want to use to describe your three for Mark Pope. It's just not. I don't even think it's for them. I highly doubted that they thought, like, all right, we're going to be in the draft window and really sweating out two different, things here with Momcilovich and Moreno. It's tough. It's a tough thing. And it's something that everyone's having to, like, almost hourly deal with and see what happens, because there's a lot on the line in an off season where feels like not many things have gone Kentucky's way.
I didn't catch this on No Filter, but nobody -N2M in our comments said that Alan Cutler said he'll shave his head if Moreno stays in the draft. And our own Brandon Ramsey, I guess, was on the show with him. He's on there pretty weekly. Said he would shave his beard. I didn't know Cutler had stuck his neck out there, his hair out there like that. Cutler's got some good hair too, so he seems pretty confident. And then Brandon, I didn't know he was the type to be putting things on the line like that, but I guess those two seem pretty confident. You mentioned in scenarios, you had a KS board post I agreed with last night, a couple nights ago, where you kind of did, if Moreno's here, Momcilovich is here, both here, none here. Do you kind of want to quickly just rehash that of what you thought the team could look like, each of those?
Yeah, absolutely. I think if Momcilovich and Moreno are on this team, I think it's like a legitimate top 15 team that can be a 2 seed. I don't think it's a national title team, but I think it's a team that can win 25 games. So, and get to the second weekend of the tournament, surely. I think without them, I think it's a season that plays out similar to last year, and I don't know if they're quite as good. Maybe they have a higher floor, I think you're looking at an 8 seed without both of them. I think even in the expanded tournament, we're going into February, right? Or we're leaving like this Monday after the Super Bowl. We have no idea if this team's going to make the tournament. I think it's going to it could go down to the absolute wire. And I think it's probably a team, Drew, that odds are high that they're probably playing on Wednesday at the SEC tournament.
We're not doing that again, Tyler and Jack. We're not doing that. I got up at 5 a.m. on that Wednesday, and I drove down there, and I hated every minute of that drive. Now, they played, what was it, LSU? I've already forgot. Blacked it out of my mind. Mm-hmm. The game was fun, but the act of getting up and getting to Bridgestone first, I actually got there so early, they're like, you can't even check in yet. I'm like, I'm covering Kentucky. I'm used to this place being full by now. Tyler, we're not doing that again.
We can't do
that. It's not happening.
Again. We can't. I can't be leaving Bridgestone Arena when Kentucky loses, when half of the people are just getting there to cover their teams that are starting. Like that was royally depressing. And like Luckett said, this fan base, I just don't know, man. They're already it feels like at a breaking point, and a whole season of that. I don't want to entertain the possibility. So get it done.
A couple more combine notes, and we'll close the book on that. I watched Ortega-Owe scrimmage yesterday. It was actually, I was kind of had it on as background noise while I was working, so it was more like a Seth Greenberg podcast, which was pretty awful. But
your favorite thing to do, right?
Oh, goodness. I didn't know he was going to be on the broadcast. That was a big hit. But Ortega played well, like 20 points in like 18 minutes. Pretty efficient. Didn't have any assists, but, combine, you're there to get buckets anyway. And then the bigger news from last year's roster is Jaden Quaintance, Jack. Guess he kind of said he didn't get to team practice very much, or he was only allowed to team practice, but he couldn't practice on his own. I don't know. I was very confused by what was going on there. He wasn't allowed to do things on the side, I guess he was alluding to, but Kentucky fans didn't love that comment about his injury timeline, and then watching him throw down windmill dunks today from the combine.
Yeah, those things are true. They very much are. It's hard to hear stuff like that, and there is a little bit of truth, and I do think that they were kind of playing chicken, and there was a lot of just extra nonsense that came with Jaden Quaintance's experience at Kentucky that I think there was a little bit of fault on both sides, and I am ready for this chapter to close and be focused on the next era of Kentucky basketball that doesn't include I'd wish it worked out better than it did, but I do think the root of their frustration is they got to a point in early December where he had been medically cleared by the training staff and itching to get on the practice floor, start the full court 5-on-5. And if you'll remember when Pope would do his call-in radio show, and it'd be he did 1-on-1 or 1-on-0 today, he did 2-on-0 today, and it was just slow ramp up, and they were itching, and I think there's a thought that he only got one full 5-on-5 full contact practice in before playing in a game. They said, well, we could have been, he got cleared in early December. We could have been playing full contact 5-on-5 to prepare for the knee swelling and all that stuff leading up to the St. John's game. They were saying, well, no, it was a process to get to the point where you're ready. We should have waited even longer. So it's, it was a mess, and I'm glad that it's behind us, and I'm excited for him to get drafted and pursue his NBA dream so we don't have to talk about Jaden Quaintance anymore at Kentucky.
You know what's exciting? As we mentioned earlier, Kentucky baseball tonight. Got that going for us. As we mentioned, Luckett's heading over there. The last series of the regular season, and it's a big win. Arkansas is ranked 10th. It 12th, excuse me. It seems that Kentucky needs to win at least 1-2 would almost certainly get them in. But Luckett, is that how it stands? Got to get one to feel good?
Yeah, I think you get one, you feel pretty good about the selection process. You get swept, you're absolutely in danger, but they haven't gotten swept all season. That's the one thing about this Kentucky team. They've usually found a way to get one, and then you take two, then you feel really good. And then maybe you can even get off that number 3 line and be a number 2 seed and want to get in a regional, which would help. So really just need to get one. Historically, 13 wins has been good enough to get in the tournament from the SEC. The SEC schedule was probably a little weaker than normal, but they had a good non-conference RPI. They've got a lot of good wins against teams that are going to be hosting. So get one this weekend. I think that would be they would be sitting good, but I think they're going into this saying if we can win 2, we're feeling great. and we got some momentum entering the tournament. It's kind of unfortunate that they're here because you felt like they could be a little better than this, but they still got a chance here in one more series, so we'll get to see what they can do. Final regular season weekend of the year, and then next week, it's to Hoover for the SEC tournament.
And the Sunday bug can't get them. This is a Thursday to Saturday series.
That's
so they're
true.
dodging that Sunday curse. Where did you stand on the canceling of the game yesterday or Tuesday, Northern Kentucky? I know it's kind of an uproar about it, but it's not that uncommon for that to happen. Other schools did it this year. It's been done in the past. I know it looks bad to just quit on a game that's on your schedule, but where did you stand on that?
Yeah, I think my kind of takeaway is I understand some of the outlash. And I understand just why, like it goes against everything you're kind of taught growing up playing. Like you just go and play. It's a game on your schedule. But to me, it's a system. Like they're playing the system here. That game it's not going to help you at all. The only thing it's going to do is hurt you at this point. So if you just use common sense, there's no reason to play it. Like no reason to play it. And then I think Kentucky, they had some reasoning behind it. Short week already, and then Florida was a weird series. You had multiple delays Friday and Saturday. You had to play at 10 a.m. on Sunday. So, and then you had to travel back. Yeah. So that's college baseball for you. It can just get wonky like that. And so I get it. I understand completely why they did it. Yeah, but I get the outlash again for it. But the NCAA comes out and says, "Don't you do that." No. But they're not gonna let's be clear. They're not gonna do that. So
well, it wasn't just Kentucky that had canceled games. So didn't 8 teams cancel games because of non-weather reasons.
Yeah, and there was even the ESPN report that came out a few days before Kentucky did it, had a whole list of 3 or 4 teams that had canceled for non-weather related reasons. So it's a practice that people use. Some coaches have been outspoken about it. But to me, it's like the system. If you don't want them to do that, start have a mandate somehow, or maybe not if you're Kentucky, why just, I know scheduling is kind of hard, but maybe just don't have a game regardless on this week because, you're going to be the short week. So we'll see what they do moving forward, but I understand 100% why they did it. And I think ultimately that's just hate the play. Don't hate the player, hate the game. And that's what this kind of situation feels like to me.
That's my thing. Why in the last week, the regular season, is there even a Tuesday non-conference game against Northern Kentucky on the schedule with a Thursday to Saturday series? At this point in the season, I get it earlier in SEC play. You have those midweek non-conference games. It just seems unnecessary. Nothing against the Norse. I would say this about all SEC teams right now. I don't think we need that game tucked in there. Tyler, did it bother you that they backed out?
I get it. Not really. At first, I wondered if this was a game that had been postponed earlier in the season just because it kind of felt weird, kind of pigeonholed at the end. And Adam, you'll be at Kentucky Proud Park tonight. I'm curious to hear and see what the energy is like there from fans because this is a huge, huge series, but this season, kind of like you broke down, has been disappointing. So hopefully, I think senior night, is it tomorrow night they're doing senior night? I know they were doing it. Maybe not on. Yeah, I'll
have to check and see, but yeah, I think it'd probably be Friday night. But I don't think it's tonight.
So I mean, I hope it's a good crowd. I hope they have a good crowd. It looks like they've got a good pitching rotation coming up. Jackson Jelkin sounds like an absolute star. I'll admit I haven't been paying as much attention to this season as I had hoped, but I really hope they can finish strong because you get to go down to Hoover to watch him, and KSR's track record of sending people to Hoover to cover Kentucky baseball is not great. So I hope it goes better for you.
Hopefully,
senior night is tomorrow night.
Right. Hopefully I can break this slide. And see, they're doing senior night festivities Friday night. It'll start at 6 p.m. Before first pitch at 6:30 Eastern time.
Cool. My thing with the Northern Kentucky cancellation is just eat the criticism for 48 hours. When this week, no one's going to be talking about that game. Heck, if I hadn't brought it up now, I think most people had already moved on anyway. So whatever, not that big of a deal. If this weekend doesn't go well, we're going to count on them to win at least 1 or 2. But say they do get swept, what will they need to do in Hoover, to make sure they can still get in?
Thank you. If you get swept, you're going to play a quad 2 game probably first. Quad 2 or quad 3. That's not really going to help you. So they probably have to win 2 in Hoover. They'd probably have to win that first game, and then they'd have to beat a team that's quad 1. So whether you're drawing Ole Miss, Arkansas, Oklahoma, teams in that kind of, I would say 6 to 10. Those would all be kind of quad one games. So I think they'd probably have to win 2 to get in.
What's the selection? Does the selection committee in baseball, do they pay attention to the conference tournaments? I know it's a big talking point in basketball.
That I do not know. That's a good question.
Yeah.
I mean, I think basketball though did show this year that they were like, hey, now we're at least we're not asleep at the wheel here at the end, because that was, to me, that was like the first time they really made a concerted effort, I think, to show people that these games count. So I don't know. I mean, that's something we'll have to see, because baseball, of course, it's playing more games, so they have more data, right? So that, in theory, the conference tournaments will mean less in baseball because you already have all these games already played. So we'll see. But the thing about college baseball is the RPI thing. They do the RPI, and the RPI is so outdated, and everyone knows it's flawed, but the NCAA hasn't changed how they're going to do it. So that's why you see Kentucky, like a lot of people will complain, Kentucky doesn't play a hard schedule, but you get rewarded in baseball, like just playing road games in general. So Kentucky plays 2 road series a year. Like this year they played Greensboro and they played Evansville. I think they were the first 2 weekend series. So they go 5-1 in those games. They get rewarded big time for like just winning on the road for those games when like those teams aren't, they're not good teams, but you get rewarded a lot for going on the road. And so I think there'll be some complaints on that, but that's the system we have, right? So you gotta go by the system.
Well, if you want to do the 2-screen thing tonight while you're watching baseball, it's also NFL schedule release night. Always an exciting time. I love the NFL. They can just turn anything into a big production. Now we have like schedule releases on the calendar, but they're fun. A few years ago, Tyler and I, our Titans, were the highlight of the whole schedule release with the video they did. And then this year, I can't believe this is happening, but I saw Yahoo put out that the NFL basically doesn't care if you make fun of Jack Pilgrim's head coach, Mike Vrabel, as a former.
Whoa, okay.
As a former
lifer, okay.
What happened? Did I miss something?
Yeah, you missed a hiking trip. There was a hiking trip. I still love him. I still love Vrabel. I'm not going to get my jokes off. Maybe a couple of them. But Jack, you're a Patriots guy. Can't talk too much because you were just in the Super Bowl, but is there a chance tonight that your boy catches a few strays from some teams in their NFL releases?
Dude, it's just been sick how they have been slow playing every single release. Oh, here's a new footage at a Super Bowl party. Oh, did you see them take this fancy walk on the beach? Are they holding hands? I don't know. Wait till next week's TMZ release. Just unleash it all. Just rip the Band-Aid off and let's know just how bad this guy is. I just need to know who and they've been doing the same slow release with the schedule as well. I absolutely hate how they're doing dangling one little, like, here's the Christmas Day game on Netflix. Here is this on a Thursday night in week 7. I don't care. Just give me the release. It's just been super frustrating. Well, speaking of the Super Bowl rematch, just week 1. That's going to be a blast. I'm ready to talk real, live, tangible football instead of the extra nonsense that has come with this Patriots offseason. A.J. Brown is a New England Patriot as of June 2nd, though, and I'm very excited for that day.
Oh, Arthur Juan Brown. I love him. I miss him too. Tyler, we got some good news from the NFL schedule release. We open with the Jets. Maybe we can be above 500. Titans, Jets, little Robert Saleh reunion game. That's honestly the best news the Titans had forever. Also, I guess, other good news yesterday, Cam Ward's going to be in the new NFL quarterback Netflix show with Luckett's quarterback. Well, other quarterback, Joe Flacco. But I like the pairing there. Luckett, you'll be busy tonight. I know you're locked in on all things NFL. I'm sure you'll have the iPad watching. But Tyler, is this something you'll be tuned in tonight to see where our Titans, who they'll be playing to finish in last in the AFC South?
I mean, yeah, I'm more excited for the team schedule reveal videos just because, like you said, 3 years ago, the Titans had the best one ever. And I went back and watched it again today. It's still so good. They interview people on Broadway and just show them like the logos and ask them what they are. It's fantastic. No, I'm interested. Yeah. And you talked about the quarterback show. I think I watched the first season of that and it was just okay. I mean, there's so many of those shows now, but Cam Ward, it'll be interesting to see. It doesn't seem like he has a huge personality. So it'll be interesting to see what his episodes are like. Is it just going to be him fishing? And I don't know.
Woke up, ate vanilla yogurt for breakfast.
Right. Like the only things I really know about him are he likes to fish. He introduces himself to everybody in the facility, so he knows their name. Like it just seems like he's a very like down to earth, chill person. So it'll be interesting. Like I really am curious if some teams elect to do something with the Vrabel Rossini things, like. When they play the Raiders, are they going to recreate the picture of like Diana leaning over the blackjack table and like talking to Vrabel for for the Titans, or whenever they play them? Is it going to be the two of them going out to a boat on the lake? Maybe something with the Cardinals with the hands, like interlinking of the fingers. Like it would be funny. I don't think anybody is going to go there, but if somebody did, how funny would it be if it were the Titans? I mean.
Arizona, that's low-hanging fruit. Like we're going hiking out in Arizona on week 5, And
our interlaced fingers, yeah.
All right. It has to be a divisional rival. Someone's got to
be the damn Jets.
The Jets or the Bills got to do it. Yeah.
What do the Jets have to lose anyway?
Yeah.
Right? It's not like the Patriots.
We're in hell already. Let's have a little fun here in May.
Yeah.
It's happening for sure.
I think it'd be hilarious.
Jack said it, but it's crazy. It has been a month and a half. Like in this day and age, the worst possible thing can happen, and we move on 48 hours later. But this is still a hot topic a month and a half in, and if it becomes part of the schedule release, I mean, I'm at the point where I'm sympathetic for them. They shouldn't have done it. I liked them both before this, but the fact that this is still going on. I mean, the Coldplay couple, we moved on from that in like 5 days from the Coldplay concert, but poor Vrabel and Diana, this is a tough one. Doesn't seem to be dying anytime soon.
Yeah, it's almost like people had these pictures, just knew it was like Mike Vrabel.
And they didn't have
They might have knew it was Diana Rossini, didn't know who the other person was, and then they like put 2 and 2 together. And they've just been sending them into
sold them to
the
TMZ
tabloid,
for a lot of money.
Yeah.
I think it's every bit of it is intentional. I think they are building up to a grand finale of as Captain Crash said. I think we know where this is trending, folks. This is going in a bad direction in a hurry, and I'm not looking forward to it. I just ripped the Band-Aid off. Just give me the bad news. I know what's coming.
Why has it got to be Vrabel? I love Vrabel. Why couldn't it be like Andy Reid and Pam Oliver or something?
The worst thing about it is like
kind of intrigued.
I think the Blue Raz is kicking in.
Like Vrabel's such a nice guy, or I think he still is.
Oh, he's nice.
Oh yeah, I know. I'm a little too nice.
It makes like the Vrabel stuff. I know he was real nice to like the female reporter in Nashville.
Oh yeah, every time.
Walker.
It makes all that just sound weird. It feels weird.
My girl Teresa Walker. Like, do I need
Teresa's great. Yeah.
To reach out to her.
Yeah.
Well, no comment.
People, I guarantee it. You know, she's probably, hey, so on here. You know, Mike.
If we didn't know Teresa, we'll leave that one alone. Teresa's great. I don't know her as well as Tyler,
queen.
but she's always friendly in Nashville, especially when I was there Wednesday at 7 a.m. checking in for our 9-seed game a couple months ago. Well, to tie up the NFL thing, we didn't get your thoughts on the Flacco aspect of quarterbacks. I know you're a Burrow guy, but I mean, that was hell of a run by Flacco coming in, and now we'll get a little behind the scenes. I'm sure you're excited to watch him on this show.
I'll be interested if like we're planning on doing it the whole year, and then that thing happened, or if it was a thing where they pick it up. You know what I'm saying?
Pick it up. Wasn't he at home, like playing with his kids? I mean, that would have been a terrible fourth person on the show if they didn't know he's going to the Bengals.
Yeah, I mean, he started the season as a starter for the Browns, so
that's right with Shador.
Yeah, so I don't know, and then they benched him, and then he was on the bench for I think 2 weeks, and then maybe that's what they were doing because they knew he was going to get benched. Just how does this veteran handle being benched? And then maybe it was. That would be interesting if they did it just from the start all the way through until Burrow comes back. Because that was kind of crazy because there was a story about how he was in the car and his wife was driving. They were going over the playbook. Like he got traded on Wednesday or Thursday and played on Sunday against the Packers. That'll be definitely worth watching a couple episodes for sure just to see the behind the scenes of that. I've never watched one of those start to finish, but I usually get a couple episodes in on each of them just to see kind of how it flows.
Yeah, that and like Full Swing and some of those other ones, I'll turn it on and kind of forget it exists and not follow up with it. But I'll at least check it out with Cam Ward being on there. Is anyone checking out the Preakness? Normally we'd have Roush on here to talk about it. Roush, we just need him to calm down a little bit this week, so we don't have Roush on. But does anyone want to step up and be Roush? Anybody excited about the Preakness? Can anyone name a horse? I will say, well, Great White. He lives in Lexington. The jockey Alex Ashard. He's the one that got knocked off right before the Derby.
Oh yeah,
scratch. That was his first Derby, and his wife cuts Abby's hair, so we know him a little bit. And we were actually heartbroken by that when that happened because that was his first Derby. We knew how excited they were. I had just seen them in Lexington a few weeks before the Derby, so I can't tell you much about the horses. But for a redemption story, I'm for him because that was supposed to be his first Derby ride, and as we all remember, right up there pulling up to the gate. Gets thrown off, but I'm glad Great White's running again. One of the few horses that will be, from the Derby that are running the Preakness. I'll be honest, I'm like most people. If there was a chance at the Triple Crown, I'm locked in. We talked about this with Roush last Thursday that it loses so much of the buzz when we have to look up, okay, who's in the field again? No chance of a Triple Crown.
There we go.
You need Golden Tempo out there. Taj Mahal's the favorite, right? Yeah, 5-1. Ocelli ran in the Derby. Other than that, I think there's only like 3 from the Derby, maybe. But
the Hell We Did's winning. That's the greatest horse name I've ever heard.
The Hell We Did.
The Hell We Did.
That's awesome.
I read Chip Honcho as Mike Honcho as a old Talladega Nights reference.
All right, so these are your official KSR picks. Steven will get a graphic. Luckett has The Hell We Did. Jack wants Mike Honcho. Make sure it says Mike. I got Great White because his wife cuts my wife's hair. Now, Tyler, who's your horse?
Go Pretty Boy Mia.
There we go.
Got a superfecta.
Those are your official KSR Preakness picks. But fix the Preakness, everybody. Make it interesting again. Make the Preakness great again.
Do we tell people where to bet on this?
Absolutely, Steven.
And they're off.
I was not ready for that big production.
That was an awesome ad.
Yeah, wow. Now I'm excited. I'll be tuned in Saturday. I'm ready to watch the Preakness. Let's go Great White, Mike Honcho, The Hell We Did, and what was
Pretty
yours
Boy
again?
Mia.
There we go. That sounds like a superfecta. I'm betting that actually. Before we get to our KS board questions, there's that Blue Raz kicking in. A few shout outs. Jack, your boy, Sean Smith. Give him some love here. The new coach of the Frederick Douglass Broncos right here in my backyard. I congratulated Sean. Selfishly, it was just me asking for some good tickets at Broncos games. But, Jack, I know you're thrilled for Sean to get a head coaching gig at a big school that's usually a contender.
And then hiring Marquise Estel as an assistant? Are we serious? Yeah, it's so cool, man. And he has really worked his way. I mean, he was a middle school John Wooden. I mean, just ran middle of nowhere Tennessee middle school basketball and just kind of slowly but surely made his way up. So it is very cool to see him get to this point. He has earned his stripes. He's been around at Frederick Douglass, been through several coaching changes to get to this point. So very, very proud of him. And I'm just happier that he will be sticking around on Sources Say, because I was terrified that I was going to be getting that phone call of, hey, great news for me, but bad news for you. And that did not come.
I enjoyed his first show since getting the job, too. He talked about, there are other candidates and how sometimes it's not always the best resume and kind of inspirational. Just get your foot in the door, do the right things, be nice to people. And that's how he landed the job when maybe on paper there are some other stronger candidates because he hadn't had the opportunities that others have. But great job, soon to be great job by him, but awesome news that he got the job. And how did he get Estel? Who else has he got lined up?
Called. Yeah, he just said, hey, buddy.
Is Cliff Hawkins also on the bench?
Eric Daniels. He's running back out there.
He's running a team like I would. Just call up all the former Kentucky players and be like, you know better than I do. All right. Yeah. Oh.
Good for Sean. So I'm going to have to What was that noise? I'm going to have to pay more attention
Track
to
racing.
high school basketball more than ever because another friend of the program, my guy Steve Q. I've known him forever. He was at my wedding. Jack, you know him. He and I, when I worked at Tony Roma's in college, I went in for an interview and I sat down and it was me and Steve waiting on interviews. That's how we met. We've been close friends ever since. He went through the AAU circuit with Griffin Elite. He was at Dunbar last year. And he's after 1 year at Dunbar, he hated to leave Dunbar, but he did a great job with them. I cannot believe my guy Steve is taking over at Scott County. I mean, there aren't many bigger jobs in the state than Scott County. So I got to shout out my guy, Steve Catroci. If y'all don't know him, he's awesome. Love him to death. I'll be wearing Scott County gear all year. So shout out to Steve. And then a little farther west, my cousin, Greg Franklin, got hired as Owensboro's coach. He's been in JUCO for a long time. He missed Kentucky. Hell, I haven't seen him in many, many years. We were very close growing up. Many Christmases. He was older than me. He played for Austin P. I was actually Austin P's ball boy because of him, but he's coming back to Kentucky, getting into the high school ranks. So I got a Franklin at Owensboro. I got Steve Q at Scott County and Sean Smith over here at Douglas. So I'm going to be locked into the high school basketball scene. Just want to shout those three out. And if hopefully they all make the Sweet 16, but it could get awkward if they all do and start matching up because I love all of those people. So shout out to them. Let's get some KS board questions before we move on. Starting with Big Click Nick. If you could attend one NFL international game, which one would it be? Anybody got a good answer? I got one. I want to go to the Australia game this year simply because I miss Max Duffy. I've been begging. I've been telling Matt and the crew our next road trip needs to be in Australia. Why don't we just go ahead and go to the Australia game this year and get that over with? Anybody else got one they're interested in?
Patriots Lions, Week 10. That's the one. Going to Munich.
That would be awesome. They really feels like they kind of missed an opportunity here by not having the Munich game during Oktoberfest. But I know that that would be just too much. Yeah, that would be really cool. Yeah, here's the graphic. Luckett, you going to Madrid for Bengals Falcons?
It's a sore subject in the Luckett house because Taylor did a abroad trip to Spain in college, like her last semester, and absolutely loved it and wants to go back dearly. And when that popped, I was like, this would be cool, but just cannot swing it with our schedule, or the work schedule here. So that would be the one if I could go. That would definitely be the one. But that's the same weekend, Cats and Vols, I believe, down in Knoxville. So that's not going to happen. But that would be my one if I got to pick one.
You can cover Cats and Vols from Madrid. They got Wi-Fi over there, right?
I'm sure, yeah. Just being on a train, Valencia to Madrid, yeah, I'm sure that would go over well. Me covering, blogging about Will Stein's fourth down decision in the third quarter.
Well, the only thing that would suck is you'd miss the celebration after that game. Anybody want to go to what else we got? Mexico City?
I've heard Mexico City is really awesome. It's actually a really good food city, so that'd be fun. Mexico City on November 22nd. I guess it'd be pretty awesome weather. 3 London games. I think that's kind of cool. Like they've been doing London games for a while now. It kind of feels like the NFL culture has really caught on there and they actually have fans. Probably the Jaguars only fans, but yeah, just Melbourne would be cool. Brazil. Yeah. I don't know.
What is Jaguars OnlyFans? Is that like Liam Cohen showing his feet for money on the internet? Is that
I was wondering.
Is that what
The
that is?
Jaguars only fans, meaning the Jaguars have no fans outside of football.
It's not the NFL, but you and Steven, you all did the London trip for UK a few years ago. Kentucky, not the United Kingdom. How fun is it just being like a sport and a team that's not even remotely located in that country and then going and taking over a city like that? It's pretty cool, right?
It's pretty awesome. And I remember the UK team that went, they got to tour one of the football stadiums there. I can't remember which one. It was
Stamford Bridge.
Okay, yeah. And we were both very jealous that we didn't get to go. But like I said, the NFL culture has picked up there. Like we saw people like in NFL jerseys. I think it was around when one of the NFL games was there. But London's awesome. And it's an easy flight, easy trip. A lot easier than probably Melbourne, Australia. So,
but Max is there.
Tottenham Stadium, and they have Jaguar stuff set up there everywhere. They actually had one of their locker rooms. They had a NFL like setup for every single team. So each individual locker was dedicated to an NFL team. So they've really embraced the sport. over there in the UK.
And I know Mexico, it's huge. Like the Raiders are like huge in Mexico. Like it's
And the Cowboys.
And the Cowboys. I know it's become like a really big sport over there. Like they get really into it.
I love when Steven chimes in like that, like he's the banker on Deal or No Deal. We just hear this voice come over. And it's like, what? Where's he coming
God?
from?
I wonder how into football people in Paris, France are. Especially, I mean, I guess they're sending the Saints over there, but the Steelers, I don't know. I'd be interested to see if it's just Saints and Steelers fan or how many French Parisians are going to that game.
Someone had a
Pittsburgh crowd checking out the local cuisine in Paris.
Someone had a good tweet. It was like the Yinzers and the Cajuns all going over to meet the French is worth a documentary.
It would be
I'm changing my answer for that one.
Hell yeah.
What's up next? And then I'm going to go look at this Jaguars OnlyFans. I got to join that. What's next?
Get in now.
Go Cats 1991. Can you all confirm, is Frank the oldest player to suit up for Kentucky basketball? I can't confirm, but I would be surprised if there's another one that's older, if he's in his 7th year. Is there an answer to that you all know of?
I reached out to Corey Price on this one because he would know. And he said there have been 4 players play their first game at Kentucky after turning the age of 25. So Frank will be 25 by the time the season started.
Is this back when they would come back from the war?
Yes, it has to be.
Well, a couple of them. So the oldest was Hubert Blakey, who
Hube.
who was almost 27 years old when he played his first
Get a
Kentucky
job,
game
Hube.
in January 1920. The next up is Marshall Barnes, who played his first game in February 1923. Fast forward a couple decades.
I'm looking at Hubert's profile. He went to center in Danville, Kentucky, Tyler, and transferred to UK. And his photo, I can't pull it up, but it looks like it was taken on one of those old cameras that like shoot the smoke when you take it. It's that long ago. So he's way back.
Yeah, so the most recent is Sid Cohen, who was 25 years old and 25 years and 10 days old when he played his first game on December 1st, 1958. So Frank will be the 5th 25-year-old Kentucky basketball player.
In 75 years. So I thought Frank's got it covered. Yeah.
It's like Peach Basket era.
Yep.
We got some Chad Baker-Mazzara jokes to delete off Twitter. With him getting over here. But you know what? Get in here, Frank. We're excited to have you.
Shout out, Frank.
Who's up next? Who's up next? What am I hosting, KSR? What's next? If Kentucky can bring Moreno back and land Milan, give your floor, median, and ceiling prediction. Can be wins, SEC, NCAA finish for next season. Luckett kind of touched on that one. Jack, you want to add to it a little bit?
I think the team is currently constructed with Malachi Moreno is a round of 32 team. I do think that if you can land Milan, you're looking at Elite Eight with, depending on the draw, a Final Four, potentially contender. And I think with Milan, maybe, can make it to Sunday in Nashville as currently constructed with Malachi Saturday team in Nashville. Do not want to talk about what it would look like without Malachi. Probably, as Adam said, fighting for the NCAA tournament and definitely a Wednesday start, hoping to make some type of miraculous run in Nashville, which is highly unlikely as we experience. It's very tough to win 5-5.
Yeah, I think Milan too. He makes all the pieces fit better, in my opinion. Everything fits better, and I think there's more cohesion on the floor just from a roster construction standpoint. If you get him, I think if you don't get him, it's a little more awkward, I guess you could say. I think everyone is kind of put in their best position to have a successful year. I think if you have him, if you don't have him, that's with Malachi, like considering with Malachi back. So the pieces just make better. And I think the roster build makes a lot of sense if you can get him.
Let's get a couple more questions in. Wildcat Larry, KS board favorite there. Remember, take advantage of the flash sale right now. 76-team NCAA tournament or 24-team college football playoff. If you could only have one, which one? Oh, for me, I'm going 24-team college football playoffs just so we can get Kentucky in. I hate the bigger NCAA tournament.
Doomsday scenario, we might need that 76 team NCAA tournament.
At that point, you don't deserve it, though. But you get out of here. Paducah Paul with a super chat here at the buzzer. Just saying hi. Love the show. Thank you, Paducah Paul. I believe you super chatted us last week, so we appreciate your generosity, helping things move here at KS Board or YouTube, KSR's YouTube. Let's get one more in, Stephen. Would you rather see Pope make the Final Four next season or Will Stein make the playoffs? Let's all go around and give an answer. Who wants to go first?
I'll go first. Pope Final Four, just because I think Stein can make the college football playoffs outside of next year. I think in year one, that's a tall ask, but it would be absolutely awesome. But Pope going to the Final Four, I think would just be a really great story, really great turnaround. I think we all want it to work with him here. So that would be pretty incredible.
I'm going Will Stein for that reason, just because I think the schedule being as hard as it was, like if Stein goes to the playoff this year, it's like, okay, we found our guy. We found the superstar of the future. The sky is the absolute limit here with Will Stein leading this program if he can do it in year one. So I think I kind of built in like, I can go Elite Eight with Mark Pope and still be pleased with how the season unfolded and the turnaround and feel like we're trending in the right direction. But playoff with Will Stein is, just writes itself.
Luggett, you playoff or Final Four?
College football playoff, because that means we're on the Indiana path. And in year two, football teams win a national championship.
There we go.
I got to go Final Four. Will Stein can win 7 games and have this place on fire, still be happy. This negativity around Kentucky basketball has got to end immediately. It's already been more than a decade since we've been in the Final Four. Despite what anonymous accounts on Twitter will tell you, KSR does not hate Mark Pope. We want Mark Pope to do well. I honestly feel bad for him where he is right now. A lot of it's self-inflicted because he's not getting the job done. But I would love for Pope to get over all this that's going on, get over the hump, get us a Final Four, and get some momentum going back in that program, because we're getting – I've said this many times, we're in urgency mode with getting back to some significance. Got that one title in almost 30 years now, more than a decade since the Final Four. I'm in a hurry to get back there, and I'd love for Pope to be the guy and do it this year so we can forget all this that we're going through right now. But if Will Stein goes to playoff, holy crap, that would be amazing. Can we do both? Is that an option?
Why not both?
Yeah, let's do both. Well, this was fun. I'm now going to go streaking through my neighborhood after I finish this Blue Raz.
Did you finish? How much do you have left?
Well, that was it. She gone. She long gone.
He chugged the whole thing in one sip.
Okay, I didn't know if there was any still left in.
Yeah, I thought he had opened another one. That's what I thought.
No. Like I said, I'm making salmon tonight. Got a nice little green bean. Might throw some capers on it. I can't be blackout standing over the stove there. And I have to go walk a child who turned 1 month old today. So we're about to go on our neighborhood
Happy
walk.
birthday.
Thank you. We got to get back in an hour and 25 minutes because we got the Bad Cats in Kentucky Proud Park. Luckett, you're heading over that way. Make sure they get a win. Let's just get a sweep. It's Arkansas. Let's get them out here. We know how annoying they are on Twitter. Let's sweep them, put all this on the bubble talk behind us, and have a good weekend. But thank you all for watching. It was another fun show on KSR's Happy Hour. Great times, and hopefully some good news ahead on the basketball front. We'll see. I don't know, but maybe it'll happen. Go Cats.